Ethan stares at the glass jar where the centipede writhes inside. He murmurs, "Something is strange." Father Cat Ethan went to make coffee when the cup suddenly fell and shattered. From the shards, the centipede crawled out swiftly. The centipede swiftly burrowed into the wall crack, hiding deep in the shadows. Its pincers scraped with a sharp screech before falling silent. Outside on the porch, little cat Alice slept peacefully, her breathing steady, unaware of what was unfolding inside. Alice let out a sleepy yawn in her slumber. Suddenly, the centipede crept from the shadows, slithered forward, and slipped straight into her mouth. Alice jolted upright, her eyes suddenly glowing crimson, the flash casting an eerie chill over the scene. Alice suddenly sprang up, screaming loudly, the piercing sound shattering the silence. Alice rushed to the swimming pool, gulping down huge mouthfuls, the sound echoing in the night until the water level sank away. Bursting into the kitchen, Alice grabbed the food, devouring without pause. In no time, the dining table was bare, the fridge completely emptied. Even after clearing out the kitchen, her stomach still growled, her throat parched as if she had never eaten. Alice's screams echoed through the house as she realized there was no food left. Ethan rushed out, his eyes froze in shock. Without a second thought, Ethan dashed out the door, hastily seeking more food for Alice. Left alone, driven by hunger, Alice grabbed the phone from the table and gnawed at it as if it were food. Not stopping there, Alice bit into the edge of the table, then gnawed at the television, leaving it covered in deep scratches. Alice's body swelled larger with every bite. She bent down to gnaw at the washing machine, the screech of metal echoing eerily. Grew so massive that the house could no longer contain her, the roof cracking apart as she rose to her full height. In uncontrollable hunger, Alice turned to the wall, tearing into it, chunks of plaster crumbling with every bite. Overcome by hunger, Alice went beyond the wall, gnawing at the entire house, wood and brick shattering under her sharp teeth. After devouring the house, Alice cheerfully dashed toward the city, each step making the ground tremble. Alice rushed through the city, her massive body colliding with skyscrapers, sending them trembling as glass shattered with every stride. Driven by ravenous hunger, Alice tore into everything in sight. Cars, signs, even towering buildings that stood in her way. After the devastation, the city lay in ruins. Alice stood amidst the rubble, screaming into the sky. Sirens blared as police cars swarmed in, forming barricades to seal off the area where Alice stood screaming. Defying the barricades, Alice roared and charged forward, tearing through every blockade, sweeping away police cars and officers in her rampage. From afar, engines roared as massive robots and heavy tanks rolled into the city, their cannons aimed directly at Alice. Alice roared and charged, her sharp claws ripping through steel armor, flinging robots aside one after another in the chaotic battle. Amidst the smoke and chaos, Ethan suddenly emerged from a nearby shop, his eyes frozen in shock at the sight of Alice. Alice roared, unleashing her strength to topple the giant machines, each robot torn apart and blown to pieces beneath her ferocious claws. Ethan calmly pulled out a can of insect spray. His eyes gleamed with calculation as he prepared for the decisive move. Ethan rushed up the stairwell, climbing the tall building step by step, seeking the perfect vantage point to make his move. At the very moment Alice screamed with her mouth wide open, he leapt with full force, hurling himself straight inside. Alice clutched her stomach and screamed in agony, her cries echoing and shaking the entire city. In the stomach's darkness, Ethan spotted the giant centipede writhing, burrowing to take over Alice's body. As Alice screamed, the giant centipede burst from her mouth. Ethan caught it midair, holding it tight. As both slammed onto the ground, Ethan summoned all his strength and slammed the centipede to the ground. A sharp crack rang out as its body convulsed, then lay motionless. Alice writhed in pain, her massive body slowly shrank, collapsing back into its small, original form. Seeing Alice shrink and collapse unconscious, Ethan rushed over, dropping to his knees, his trembling arms wrapping tightly around her small body. Ethan dropped to his knees, clutching Alice tightly, his voice breaking as he pleaded, "Please wake up." All around, the crowd merely watched with indifferent eyes, no one moving to help as Ethan remained kneeling beside Alice. In Ethan's arms, Alice suddenly snapped her eyes open, a crimson glow blazing like an ominous warning, freezing the air around them.